we have all people have their own method how they will comfort themselves. So I think I have a problem connection.
I'm sorry, our first speaker is having some technical problem.
Can you please pause the timer first?
Okay, I'm so sorry for due to the connection problem. So let me continue. So why we implemented AI? So we have diverse big why we have AI. So if we see in this world how our life would be if we live without AI, we can see how AI changed our life. Because for instance, I was once thought that AI years ago, considering if AI really deserves to be invested such a lot of resources, since it just creates some glory. But after do some researches about AI, I really want to show my greatest respect to the designers and the programmers that implemented AI, because that I've seen so many facts and videos due to the fact that AI really helped them to meet their deceased loved ones in real life. So for me, so ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all from me. Okay, so I think we have to support this motion, and I beg your pardon to accept this motion wisely. So thank you.
Thank you to the Prime Minister for the speech. The speaker spoke for 7 minutes.
Now, I would like to call upon position to deliver his speech. This floor is yours.
Thank you. Okay, so good morning. Good night to the good evening to the Mr. Chairman and all of the audience. So the topic for debate is about the house develop non-sentient artificial intelligence that imitates deceased loved ones in a various personality and mannerism. So we like to agree with the definition that given by the affirmative team. However, there's still some off with the definition. and they didn't say that the artificial intelligence is something that can maybe that thing is something that can be developed. However, there's no real improvement that can from artificial intelligence that can do the same thing as human do. And today, as the first speaker, I will be talking to you about the people that really the people rely too much on artificial intelligence on doing the things, especially about this. Our motion today is about our loved ones, and I will tell to you about the second speaker will talk about the grief to people, and also talking about the fake or the illegal love that will appear to their heart when this artificial intelligence then when we believe that this artificial intelligence can solve this loved one's problem. So so the first speaker from the affirmative team has already tell you just now that it is a healthy way to talk to the loved ones using this method, which is talking to the artificial intelligence. But I can't agree with that, because this is not a healthy way to do to solve this problem in a long term. And okay, and also the first speaker also say that it is the comfort way to spend their time with their loved ones, and I also can't agree with that, because this is not just the healthy way or the comfort way. This is just something that's fake. Okay, just something that's not private. The feeling and when someone died is we just need to pass on it. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to discuss my point on people rely on AI too much. Why is it? Why do I say that? So people only rely on AI too much because the AI, the artificial intelligence, they use this artificial intelligence to replace those who are gone from this world, and they imitate the same person, but they doesn't have the same heart or the same manners, and not the same manners, or the same way the real person is. And from this practice, which is we talking to the artificial intelligence that imitates the loved ones that have already died, we won't remember visiting their grave, and we don't pray for them, because we think that they are still alive and they are happy. So and it is understand to say that artificial intelligence can make people cannot move on and adapt new situation when their loved ones gone. And that's just that.
All right, thank you to the leader of opposition for the speech. The speaker spoke for 5 minutes and 39 seconds.
Now, I would like to call a second speaker from government to deliver her speech. The floor is yours.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. To the wise educator, Mr. Speaker, meticulous timekeeper, members of the opposing team, and everyone that present here. My name is Aina Wahyun, and the topic for our debate today is the House should develop. So the topic for our debate today is that, assuming feasibility, the House would develop non-sentient artificial intelligence that imitates deceased loved ones in appearance, personality, and mannerism. And I am, as the affirmative team, believe that this statement is true. So first of all, the first speaker from the opposition team has tried to tell you that we people rely on AI too much. Okay, so I want to say that this is wrong. You know why? Because hello, we are living in it's 2022. We live in a world full of technologies. AI is a thing that is not just a new norm. Okay, it's actually quite a normal thing that already happened in a lot of countries. Maybe not in Malaysia, but that's why I'm trying to say. Okay, and also he said that because it is too fake. You say that AI is too fake, so we cannot actually felt how the AI actually feels, how the same as we or not. Right? But I know that there is a saying that fake it till you make it. You know. So as for me, we can always create. Yes, there's a lot of AI that we create nowadays. Yes, it is fake, but don't you know there's a system even in the AI that they can actually record our voice, and perhaps we save our loved ones, our deceased loved ones' voice into their system, and we can always replay it anytime that we want. Okay, so I want to recap a bit that our first speaker has already explained about the grievousness of deceased loved ones. Yes, everyone has experienced losing their own family. Nowadays COVID-19 it's all about people grieving, losing our own family members that we love so much. So what I'm trying to say is, today I will be talking to you about mental illness. Okay, my first point is regarding the grieving of the deceased loved ones. Don't you know that there are many people that grieving so much that it leads them to depression, and even some of them actually having a suicidal thoughts. You know why? Because they have lost their loved ones, the one that they trust so much, the one that they love so much, maybe the only one that they had in their life. Isn't it feel that very sad? I mean, like, imagine if we are the ones who will experience that in our life. I can't even imagine if I will lose my parents. I can't imagine how my life would be if I lose my parents. You know what? This is why why AI should be developed, because having someone that can actually you talk, okay, the one that looks so much like your loved ones. Okay, I'll give you an example. It's about a wife who lose her husband. Okay, her husband, and then this company create an AI that literally look the same as his husband. Yeah, maybe not like the way they talk. Of course, AI gonna talk like sounding robotic sounds, right? But still, it can actually give them a little bit of hope to live. Don't you feel so? I mean, like, if we don't want losing people, and suddenly there's something that actually look alike our loved ones and can talk to us back, I feel that it's a very, there's a hope, and that actually makes me want to live, you know. Okay, there's even a movie, science fiction movie in Netflix, and about a woman who bought a checkbox that talked like her husband, you know, and she was pregnant, so she tell the checkbox that I was pregnant, and the checkbox said that I wish that I was there. Okay, maybe even though that he's not present, the husband is not present there, but the AI can actually makes the wife feel kind of relief, because even though her husband doesn't know, but someone will listen to her. Okay, now to my second point. This can also help to build a perfect life. Okay, as you know, there's a nowadays people with disability can also do many things in their life. You know, also, okay, what if there is someone who is blind? He could never see his wife because he was blind, and then there is an AI technology that we create that looks perfectly like her husband, and then she can actually saw his wife, even though it's not already, it's already passed away, but actually it makes the woman you know, not feeling despair anymore, because it feels like it's got some connection that her late husband actually saw her, even though it's not the real husband, but she could imagine, you know, we love imagine things, right? So that could be one of the benefits from having an AI to create our disease loved ones, even though based on personality, there's a lot of things, you know. So I would like to say is like, as a conclusion, I strongly believe that the House agrees that um, the non-sentient artificial intelligence that imitates disease loved ones in appearance, personality, and mannerism should be developed. Thank you.
Thank you to the Deputy Prime Minister for the speech. The speaker spoke for 7 minutes. Thank you.
We shall now hear the speech from the second speaker from opposition side. Here we go. The floor is yours.
I start in 3, 2, 1. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening to Mr. Madam Chairman and members of the floor. So today, the topic for our debate is that this house, assuming flexibility, this house will develop non-sentient artificial intelligence that imitates deceased loved ones in appearance, personality, and movement and mannerism. So, we, the negative side, believe that this statement is false. Before that, I will rebut some point from the government side. Okay. The first one is, she said that that AI will improve their mental illness because there is a lot of it will affect their mental illness. Okay, because when they losing their loved ones, it will make them grieving so much. So for me, I think this is wrong because for the long term, it will, this problem, of course, they will remember and always remember their moment with their loved ones. So I think this thing we can solve the problem for the loved one, because for me, there's a lot of people who have lost their loved ones. So there is there is a lot of people out there who can afford the AI. It must a cost. It must need a cost. So to buy AI and tell someone to do it, and there is a lot of the procedures to do. So I want to recap for our first speaker. Our first speaker has already said that when people will only rely. Our first speaker will say that people only rely on AI too much, because it is true, because when they rely to AI too much, they can move on. They can move on from. They will be weeping all day, because the AI will describe a lot of memories, and it will appear the actual face of their loved ones. So they can move on, and there is a lot of things they need to do in their life. So it will bother when their relationship with the other family, and okay, that's it. Okay, now I would like to give my two arguments. So today, now to my first point is, as I said, when the AI is artificial intelligence that imitates disease loved ones, our loved one, it will more grief to people. It will give more grief to people. So our people, most of us will learn to adapt the new situation, because after the loved one is gone, we need to move on. And if for example, if the loved one, like our family, like the parents lost their children, like one of their children, if they risk that they can give they can give more attention to their children, because there is not only them who said they it will affect their siblings too. So okay, then they will always remember, they will weeping all day, then they will overthink more and lead to the suicide. I told this because they will overthink, because they will overthink more grief to people, because they feel that they really want to meet them. So they want, sometimes people say that they want to die quickly to meet their loved ones. So to say, move to my second point is an illegal love appear. Okay, AI, as we know, AI is not Satan, but human is Satan. So I say it illegal because when I say illegal because okay, when if the loved one is their husband or wife, when they always interact with the AI, they will it will make some feeling that they really love the AI, despite to move on and find another.
POI, please.
Yes.
So, based on your opinion given, you have said that the parents can focus their life by focusing more to their children. But if you see in the more narrow, can you think about the people who live alone, who completely their life don't have anyone else? How can we settle them? How can we implement a new method or a new way to comforting their loneliness? So I hope you can consider my opinion. So thank you.
Okay. Sorry. The time is too. So our opposition side, we believe to the for the Prime Minister question, they can find their own hobby to. There is a lot of things that we can do in real life. So it's not actually we need to do everything with technology. So they can find a hobby and focus on their work, and that's it.
All right, thank you to the Deputy Leader of the Opposition for the speech. The speaker spoke for 7 minutes. Thank you.
Now, I would like to call the third speaker from government side to deliver her speech. The floor is yours.
Can you hear me? No.
Yes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to the wise panel and educator, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Kulas Timekeeper, members of opposition team, and everyone that present here. There are several things that I'll be doing as a whip. Firstly, I will reinstate our stance on the debate and provide rebuttal. Secondly, I will reiterate the agreements from my side and tell why we understand the debate better. Thirdly, I will make clear to you the outcome of the debate and reaffirm our stance. So the topic for our debate is that this house would develop non-sentient artificial intelligence that imitates deceased loved ones in appearance, personality, and manners. So firstly, that we tell you that our stance is we truly believe that we should develop this artificial intelligence that imitates deceased loved ones in appearance, personality, and mannerism. So my rebuttals for the second speaker from the government side is firstly, she said that if we had this artificial intelligence that imitates our loved ones, it will give us more grief. So that I will rebut that my second speaker already told you that if we didn't have this AI, we can make people have a mental illness and lead to suicide. So what you want to say that if we had this AI, we can help people to move on, and we can help people to move on, and we can decrease the rate of suicide. So second is the second speaker also said that if our loved one is died, and for us to move on is to find a hobby. Like, I'll tell you that when you already lost your loved ones, how are you going to have a healthy mindset that help you to do something new when we already lost our loved ones? Of course we said and we have a mental problem because we lost our loved one, and that's why we from the government team, we agree that we should have this artificial intelligence that imitates our loved ones, so we can help them who lost their loved ones to move on, to like they can have a even the artificial intelligence is not the same as their loved ones, but they can going through their life better than when they totally lost their loved one. So my second speaker also said that we want to have this artificial intelligence to build a perfect life. So by this, we can actually help people. Like she said, for example, for disability people, they can have a perfect life. Like they can have a perfect life before, or their family members cannot, or their family members will want to see that they have a perfect life for their loved ones, right? So with this AI, we can actually help them to achieve that. So like everyone has a wish, so we cannot accuse that we shouldn't do this because we doesn't have that kind of feelings, because we have a different feelings and different way how that we feel for our feelings. And then we truly agree with this, because the AI is bring more benefits than harm to the people, especially for the one who lost their loved ones, because it will help them move on in different way, not just that they move on, not just that they also can move on, even if we had this AI that imitates the loved ones, but maybe in different way, and maybe it much more better than when they are totally lost their loved ones. For example, when they are not ready to lose them. And so In conclusions, that I will reaffirm our stance that we truly agree that we should develop this non-centered artificial intelligence that imitates species, loved ones in appearance, personality, and mannerism. Thank you.
Thank you to the government whip for the speech. The speaker spoke 6 minutes and 56 seconds. Thank you.
We shall now hear the speech from the third speaker from opposition side. Now, here we go.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Good evening to Mr. Chairman, the adjudicators, the members of the floor, the government side, and my loyal team, the opposition side. So today's motion are about the House will develop non-sentient AI that imitates deceased loved ones in appearance, personality, and mannerism. So we as a opposition side truly disagree with this motion, aligned with our stance, which AI can make people couldn't move on and adapt new situation when their loved ones is gone. Today I am going to rebut the point that have been given by the government side. So the first speaker, okay, we know that this motion are about the household. This motion are about a mechanism, but the first speaker of the government side failed to say how are they gonna develop it and who will get it and how they will get it and how they will develop, who will develop it and who will get it. So they failed to say the mechanism of this motion. And next, he said that the first speaker said that everyone have their different ways to remember their loved ones when they miss their loved ones who has died. So they say that it will be better to communicate to physically through the AI that have been made. Okay, he's the one to say that everyone has different ways to remember their loved ones, and they have different ways like talk in social media and go to the grave, visiting the grave. So why would they need the AI? They have their personal preference. So why they do need the AI? So and even if they are always do their ways that they always visit the grave. So how would he feel when he has to talk to the AI? He will feel like uncomfortable because before this they always do visiting the grave and text in social media. And the first speaker didn't declare their stance, so I don't really know what their objective is in this motion. Okay, next, the second speaker has said that having this AI that imitates deceased loved one will reduce the mental illness and reduce the suicidal thought. And because and in her example, they say that when someone have appearance as same as her husband, we have to remember that this motion are about non-sentient AI. Even that AI is look like her husband, they doesn't feel love. They don't have feeling. The AI doesn't have feeling. So how they will feel? How the wife will feel love back? And AI, we know that this AI are made of steel. So what if the wife want to hug him? He will feel like steel. He won't hug him like our skin. No, he won't feel the same. And still, AI are not eating. So how are they gonna do their course, like they want to eat together or do anything? So it still are not same as her previous late husband. And the second speaker also didn't say their stance, so we don't really know what their objective is. Okay, next, their point is it, having the AI as can make a perfect life. We know that AI has helped us a lot. Technology have helped us a lot, but it doesn't really rely on this AI type. We can still have a perfect life, although we don't have that non-sentient AI in our life to replace the loved ones. Because if he is blind, we have lots of gadget to help the blinds to for example, to measure the cup so the water would not drops on way. So it's not necessary for this AI to be there to help them to have a better life or perfect lives. And move on to their third speaker. They said that no, thank you. They said that well, they say she said that in her rebuttal, when we are lost our loved one, we don't have mindset to do something new. So how are we gonna imagine that who has lost their loved one to have an AI? They might like act like the same people, but it won't feel the same. Like they can't eat, they can't do much.
AI face.
No, please. They can. So next I will recap the points from our side. Okay, our team has said to you that our first speaker has said that this AI will make people only rely on AI too much, because AI will replace those who are gone. So people who won't visiting grave, they will forget about the people who has lost. They won't remember it, and they only focus on the AI. And next, my second speaker said that it will give more grief to people, because you saw
POI, please.
someone.
Excuse
No,
me.
thank you. You saw someone who is already dead, but he is there. So how will you feel? He might be an AI and it might look same, but it's not him, it's not her. And what would no, thank you, no, thank you. Okay, next. What if the one who is there is a children? Will the AI grow up? No, they would grow up. So how long the parents will take care of that child? It's about, because AI cannot grow up. Okay. And next, our speaker said that illegal love will appear, because it will be one-sided love. So like husband and wife. If the husband is AI, the husband won't love back the wife. He will just imitate. So that's all for me. With that, I end my speech. Thank you.
Thank you to the opposition whip for the speech. The speaker spoke for 7 minutes.
Now, both of the government and opposition are being given 1 minute to prepare their reply speech. The time is up. I call upon the speaker from the opposition side to deliver their reply speech. Here we go. The floor is yours.
Okay. I'm from the opposition side. To give my reply speech. Okay. Ours win because as my third speaker said that the government side didn't have their own stand and their mechanism. So we wins because when because AI can imitate our body. So from our points, we already state that they will not adapt the new things in their life. So the new thing in their life. Because when the AI is conquering when the AI they will adapt the new things. They will adapt the new things. Like they will always see the AIs and always grieve, so always weeping. So then they can move on. They can move on to continue their life. It will cause that they can move on to continue their life without their loved one, because they will always overthink about their future if they didn't have their loved one, and when they see the AI, they can actually give the same how their loved one gave them in physically or mentally also. They so they can move on, and this will cause the he can continue their life. So our points because non-sentient will affect their daily life. So so they can move on. That's all for me. Thank you.
Now to conclude, let's welcome the speaker from the government side to give their reply speech.
Okay, thank you. So for our reply speech, first of all, I would like to recap what our first speaker has already explained, that it's about the grieving deceased loved ones. As he already stated that it helps a lot to us who was grieving. Don't you feel that it can actually decrease the feeling of despair from losing your own loved ones? And also, he already stated a lot that this AI would eventually help the people who are grieving to move on. instead of keep on thinking and grieving about their loved ones, people who already passed away. This is why AI were built to help them move on and not living in past anymore. And also, for my second point, about the mental illness, this why I would say that it can why this grieving can lead them to mental illness. It is because they will always feel lonely. People who was grieving always feels lonely. Don't you? Because of we developed the AI, this could be considered as their own best friend or even their own counselors to help them talk about their feelings, what they were feeling, and maybe help them feel a bit of happy instead of just feel sadness every day, every single day, keep on crying, thinking about their loved ones, and not just visiting graves. Yes, I know we always visiting graves, and you said that why we should have AI when we visit them always. But having an actual things that look like our deceased loved ones, that would be better than just having them, than just visiting them at their grave. And also, I think that the third speaker misunderstood about our point because we never say that AI will create to help them to take care of them or do household chores. So we already stated a lot that it is just for helping people who was grieving to move on from being sad and upset. I think and also maybe we could not, yes, it's not the same thing as hugging the real people, but we never know because who knows that people who was grieving, when they hug the AI, they will eventually sense or feel that it's kind of it still got that feels that or this is feels like hugging my own husband. Maybe not 100% feel like it, but still there's a big happiness for them and give them hope to live. And also, this is why that we I want to restate that our stance that the House agrees that we should the House would develop the non-sentient artificial intelligence imitates the deceased loved ones and imitates the deceased loved ones in appearance, personality, and mannerism. And I believe this is true. That's all from me.
All right, thank you. That is all for this round debate session. On behalf of the House, I thank the adjudicator for their assistance. I congratulate all the debaters on their performance.
Alright, now the host will assign all the adjudicators to the breakout room to discuss, while the debaters please remain in this room in the meantime. Thank you.